it's gotten easier little by little over the years to look at my body, talk about my body, but it's also gotten more difficult in other ways. I mean, I kind of hate to pin it on one event or essentialize one event as being the catalyst for my entire, journey with insecurities with my body. Yeah, I think if I can pinpoint it to one particular event in general, during the summer of, I forget, 2006 or 2007, how old was I? I was 5, 6? My mom, through a family friend, decided that it would be good to enroll both me and Grace into the summer program at this middle school out in Fresh Meadows in Queens. And beforehand I didn't really think much of it. I think I was pretty excited from what I can remember. But yeah, if my mom figured it was a good way to get us out of the house, good way for us to go on trips during the summer, to make new friends, to just play and be kids and have fun. But it didn't take that long until things kind of unraveled. Me being a relatively chubby kid, I'm chubby now, but I've been chubby throughout my entire life, and it's fluctuated and all these different things. But back then I was chubby, and I don't know why it happened, but the kids in my class, my cohort, started to make lots of fun of me, calling me names, cursing at me, excluding me, being physically aggressive in a lot of different ways with me. I had never really experienced that kind of level of attention, unwanted attention. All these eyes kind of staring at me, at my body, and telling me you're not enough, or you're too much. You take up too much space. I think ever since then I've just been kind of hyper aware of my body. I don't know. But then there's this other part of me that feels like, why do I have to change? Why do I have to look a certain way to feel like people will respect me? Why can't people respect me enough now as I am, in my imperfections, in my incompleteness? I think since that summer I've kind of just constantly been in this negotiation of, am I enough or am I too much, or how am I not enough and how do I compensate for not being enough? That in being so aware of how much space I take up physically, I've honestly taken it upon myself to try and minimize every other aspect of myself, to make myself smaller, to shrink, to disappear, to be invisible, which I'm still trying to work past, which I'm still trying to work through. And I think it's gotten particularly complicated because of my growing awareness of me being an Asian person, an Asian American, a Korean American, a low-income Korean American who's trying to enter an industry that's often not accessible to people like me. There are lots of times where I just feel very mediocre, very inadequate, insufficient, unworthy. I think there's a lot to do with the things that I heard, the things that were said to me throughout my childhood, throughout my teenage years, throughout even now. Like, you would be perfect if you just lost 40 pounds. You would be perfect if you just exercised a little bit more. Like I said earlier, like, it's easier to talk about and name the things that I'm feeling, but it's not necessarily easier to go through those feelings, I don't know, I think I've just spent a lot of my life feeling like my body is a joke, a punchline waiting to happen. Like, people can kind of just walk all over my body, walk all over me just because I look the way I do. And I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to change. Most days I just don't feel like I'm enough for anyone, or anything. I think that in turn kind of makes me feel like I won't ever be enough in general. Like, no matter how hard I try, it doesn't matter. This tough cycle of hating myself and trying to love myself, trying to forgive myself, trying to get back in touch with that, like, 3-year-old Steven who like really thought the world was just somewhere to play. Part of me is starting to get back to that place of playfulness, not being a 3-year-old, but it's hard. I felt so alone at that time. I think that there was a particular loneliness that I felt, embodied loneliness, and now that I look back on it, like, I do think that I am stronger for it, I am better for it, but I do think that it set off a lot of different chain of events for me, in me trying to grapple with having been bullied and having been the target of so much, teasing and childish hate, but it stayed with me, and I think I'm still working through it. I don't think it's ever going to go away, really. I think this is the project that I've been meaning to do my entire life, and I don't think this will ever exist only within this project. I think in every single project that I've done so far, and that I'm going to do, this is always going to be a running theme. To Steven, I hope that you know you are loved, that you are worthy of love and friendship and respect and forgiveness and kindness, and I hope that you can see that the world is still yours to play in, that you deserve more. You are more. You are more than enough. You're perfect despite your imperfections. And I know it's not going to be easy, but I hope that you can keep finding ways to love yourself in the way that you need. And I love you.